We want to continue the topic of resilience and foresight, and in order to do that, we have invited the Vice President of the European Commission, Maroš Šefčovič, to join us today. He was hoping to join us in person, but because of the State of the Union address by President van der Leyen at the European Parliament plenary in Strasbourg, he hasn't been able to return to Brussels, and we'd like to play a short video message from him. So please join us to listen to Maroš Šefčovič.
You may recall that the last year's report focused on resilience as a new policy-making compass. And we showed what the pandemic had taught us about the Europe's resilience across 4 dimensions: green, digital, social and economic, and geopolitical. We asked ourselves what it means to take the EU's open strategic autonomy and global leadership to the next level in an increasingly multipolar global order. We first looked into 4 structural megatrends which will have a major impact on the EU on its path towards 2050, namely climate change and other environmental challenges, digital hyperconnectivity and technological transformation, pressure on democracy and values, and lastly, shifts in the global order and demography. And in this context, we then identified 10 areas where EU action could enhance our open strategic autonomy and global leadership, giving us the best possible chance of achieving our long-term policy objectives like reaching climate neutrality by 2050 and to remain major global player. So here is where we suggest to move into higher gear: sustainable health and food systems, decarbonized and affordable energy, our capacities in data management, artificial intelligence and cutting-edge technologies, the supply of critical raw materials, our first mover global position in standard setting, future-proof economic and financial systems, skills and talents that match our long-term ambitions, our security, defense and space capacities, nurturing our global partnerships and strengthening our public institutions. As you can see, the 10 identified areas are interconnected, and here is a couple of concrete examples. First, to ensure the health of our citizens, we are building a European health union that invests in health workers, innovative care models, as well as new technologies and medicines. The EU Health Emergency Preparedness and Response Authority, HERA, will use Foresight to boost anticipatory threat assessment, market intelligence, and horizon scanning. In addition, establishing or re-establishing production of some critical medicines in the EU, supported by innovation, could help compensate for possibly higher costs, as well as strengthen our leadership in green and digital pharmaceutical manufacturing. To make this sustainable, however, we need to secure sufficient supplies, not only of decarbonized and affordable energy, but also of critical components without creating new dependencies on raw materials. Second example, to maximize the benefits of the space sector, the EU should take a strategic approach to its space infrastructure and ensure autonomous, reliable, and cost-effective access to space. Space technologies, together with artificial intelligence, offer a strategic means of countering and anticipating future threats, including cyber espionage. These technologies, already key to the functioning of critical infrastructure, are also important for the future of communications, Earth observation, manufacturing, and security. Additionally, they are an essential ingredient of the twin transitions, while space mining could help us ensure a sustainable and diverse supply of critical raw materials in the future. Third, the EU is facing competition for first mover advantage in standard setting, particularly in emerging technologies such as blockchain, quantum and digital currencies or batteries. with our competitors taking more assertive action in this area. The onus is on us to build on our excellent track record in setting de facto international standards. The Brussels effect, whereby multinational corporations comply with the EU-level regulation, combines with our leading role in the global trade to boost international acceptance of EU standards. This in turn is crucial for our influence on the global order and our leadership on climate change, sustainability, and the protection of fundamental rights. To this end, the EU will further engage in active regulatory cooperation, ensuring a leading role in international standard-setting organizations. So another tangible example how we aim to marry openness with autonomy. As I have said on many occasions, strategic ball is not a crystal ball. We cannot know what the future holds. But with a better understanding of the megatrends at play and the related uncertainties and policy opportunities, we can make more ambitious strategic choices today in pursuit of our global leadership tomorrow as we head towards 2050. The pandemic has only strengthened the case for ambitious strategic choices, such as striking the right balance between autonomy and openness. And the EU will not turn inwards, but will reinforce our global standing. Before I conclude, let me highlight another strength of our work. And this is building on our foresight capacities across the EU institutions and in our member states. Our EU-wide foresight network at ministerial level, Ministers for Future, if you will, is up and running, while more member states are preparing their national foresight strategies like the one we presented together with the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez, España 2050, before the summer break. And this shows that strategic foresight has secured a firm place in our policy making and is no longer at arm's length from the political level. So now what's the next? Our 2022 Strategic Foresight Report will focus on a better understanding of the twinning between the green and digital transitions. That is, how they can mutually reinforce each other, including through emerging technologies. In the meantime, the Commission, in cooperation with the Member States, is finalizing its resilient dashboards as announced in our first Strategic Foresight Report. And this work will also contribute to the evaluation of well-being beyond conventional economic measures like GDP, as the GDP alone doesn't tell the whole story. To conclude, let me stress again that our actions in the present can help shape a future that Europeans want and deserve. And by clearly identifying 10 policy areas to boost our open strategic autonomy and global leadership, I believe that the Strategic Foresight Report will help us keep our collective eye on the ball. Thank you very much.